look at the Senate floor right now. I think that's the Senate floor down in the bottom, and that is the House floor up there. We are expecting to hear them read down there the entire 1,924-page spending bill, but we are hearing reports now that the Democratic aides think they may have found a path forward on omnibus. I'm not sure that's the greatest thing in the world. That would, of course, get around the GOP insistence that the bill be read aloud, which could take about 35 hours and potentially lead to the government shutdown, about which more. So now let's get ahead of the curve and talk about what might be coming with the next Congress with country music star Larry Gatlin, Fox News contributors Margaret Hoover and Leslie Marshall, who you've seen already tonight. So the bottom line is, Margaret Hoover, will we see any change with a new Congress? And what kind of change? Will it be gridlock? Will it be some kind of compromise, one compromise after another, or what?
Yes, you're going to see change. I mean, you've got 63 Republicans coming to House of Representatives, and John Boehner is going to be third in line for the presidency. So that's a huge amount of change. I think the first thing they're going to do is vote to repeal Obamacare. I think then we're going to see some really constructive tax bills. They're going to have a lot of tax bills on the table. And I think you're going to see really substantive policy ideas coming out of the budget office from Paul Ryan.
Will we see any more order than in the chaos that we are seeing right now, Larry Gatlin?
Well, you know, a little constructive chaos. I mean, you know, if there really were a government shutdown, wouldn't that be wonderful? I mean, how much worse could it be if they just shut down? If shutting the government down means that that Nancy's not going to fly home in a G5 that I'm paying for the gas, I say shut the darn thing down. So the coming year, yes, I believe they're going to be, like say, a piece at a time. Obamacare is going to, they're going to pick away at that. I hope the scoundrels we voted in are better than the scoundrels we voted out. It remains to be seen. But yes, there will be change. There's no question.
Leslie, what are we going to see come January 1?
Well, first, I'm disappointed Larry didn't sing his answer. I was waiting for that.
Don't encourage him.
I can.
Don't encourage him, Leslie. Please, go ahead.
Well, of course there are going to be changes, I mean, just in the players. But we have a lot of split on the right side of the aisle amongst the players, because the GOP, you have the Tea Party GOP, and then you have the non-Tea Party GOP. Democrats, you still have some blue dogs that are in, even though many were voted out, and you have the more moderate Democrats and the left-leaning Democrats. So unfortunately, I think we're going to see less accomplished, or the things that are accomplished take a much longer time to accomplish. Bottom line, if you spend any time repealing health care, that is not what the majority of Americans want, left or right. They want jobs, and they want the economy improved upon.
Yeah, but the majority of the Americans, Margaret Hoover, want either a full repeal or a partial repeal of Obamacare. That is absolutely clear by all the polls.
It is clear by all the polls, and I'll cede Leslie a small point. She's right. We don't want to see Republicans going in and fighting to repeal Obamacare all year long. They're going to vote for repeal. It'll never pass the Senate. And then systematically, I think we will constructively be able to repeal parts of it.
By the way, I don't want you to repeat what you said in the beginning, but we didn't completely fill this hole that we dug here. If, in fact, you do bring this spending bill into January 1st, even at the risk of closing down the government for a day or two, would it be worth it to have it be taken up by the new Congress?
I think you do a continuing resolution, and then you have the new Congress do the bill, because what's happened is they've put themselves in a hole. They shut the budget process down the entire year. They didn't pass any spending bills all year long, and then they did it behind closed doors.
So get rid of the omnibus and go for a continuing resolution
and let the legitimate Congress pass the next budget.
Well, Larry is nodding like what she says. Yeah. Leslie, what about that? Going for a continuing instead of an omnibus?
Well, I have to tell you, first of all, calling the next Congress legitimate and this one not legitimate kind of is offensive to me as a voter.
It's a lame duck, Leslie. Come on, it's a lame duck session. You know what she's talking about.
The bottom line is we have a lot of money that is going to be distributed to Americans, whether it's in the form of a tax break or an unemployment extension. That cannot be ignored. Do I like the earmarks? No, but both Democrats and Republicans
I was going to say, Leslie, you just spent the last segment criticizing the illegitimate earmarks that have been put into the tax bill, when all the tax bill really should be is just 3 words: we won't raise taxes.
I agree with that.
We won't.
Well, yeah, you want things, but nobody wants to pay for them. Come on, David. You know you can't have no taxes raised and get stuff.
Larry Gatlin, you are terrible.
We won't raise taxes. Okay, well, that's...
We will not. Actually, it's 5 words. This is totally...
Raise no taxes, you're right. Raise no taxes.
Gang, thank you very much. Coming up on deck, our allies call